Gentlemen, we are going to look at the review for our solids quiz, so everybody should have this in front of them. Okay. We are going to go over each of these answers. We're going to start with Euler's theorem, which is faces plus vertices equals edges plus 2. Okay, faces plus vertices equals edges plus 2. And then number 2 is just using that formula. Our faces are 8 and our edges are 12. So we go 8 plus v equals 12 plus 2. Does that make sense? Just plug those numbers in. Then we get 8 plus v equals 14. Then we're going to subtract 8 from both sides. And we get vertices equals 6. Okay? Number 3 is find the surface area of the right prism. I talked about on Friday that we don't know this length on the outsides. Okay, so we have to use Pythagorean theorem where we would divide this triangle in half because then it makes a right triangle. See this side in yellow? We're just going to use that. So we're going to use this bottom is 25, the height is 60, and I'm trying to find the slant height C. Okay, so if we go square root of 60 squared plus 25 squared equals C equals 65. That means both of these equal 65. Okay, so now we have to find each part of this. What does B mean? You guys remember? Area of the base, right? Not just 50, but the area of the whole thing. So that's when we do 1/2 times 60 times 50, and that equals 1,500. That's my base. Then we need our perimeter. Our perimeter is if we count up the outside. So that's like 50 plus 65 plus 65. That gives me 180. And then h kind of stands for height, but I like to think of it as the distance between the two bases. And that is 49. Okay, so I have those three things, so I plug it into my formula. 2 times the area of the base, which is 1,500. Plus the perimeter, 180, times the distance between the two bases, 49. And I get 11,820 meters squared. Do we have any questions about this? Because we shouldn't be talking otherwise. Do we have any questions about this? Because we should not be talking otherwise. Shh. Okay, we're looking at number 4. We're looking at number 4. What is the area of the base for this pyramid? 5 times 5 is 25. What's the perimeter of this base? 20, because I walk all the way around. 5 plus 5 plus 5 plus 5. And then the slant height is given to me at 7. Now I just have to plug it in. Surface area equals the area of the base plus 1/2 the perimeter times the slant height. That gives me a surface area of 95 feet squared. Okay. All right, number 5, we're going to find the volume of this rectangular prism. What's the area of the base of this? How am I going to find it? So if we look, this is the base, this big rectangle on the top or the bottom. So we go 16 times 11, which gives me 176. And my height or distance between my two bases is 4. So my volume equals 176 times 4, which is 704 meters cubed. Okay, now the distance between the volume of a prism and the volume of a pyramid is you times that 1/3, right? Because you got to shave off the sides. So we're going to find the area of the base, which is 9 times 7, which gives me 63. The height is written right there for me, so the height of my pyramid is 6. So we go 1/3, 63 times 6, give me 126 feet cubed. Yeah. Just remember, guys, that volume is cubed and surface area is squared, right? Okay, you ready to look at the map? You have a question?
Number one.
Yeah.
Why do you tell me 1/2 of the
Number 1 is faces plus vertices equals edges
no,
plus
no,
2.
no.
Number 3. Okay. Why do I times what? 1/2? Because it's a triangle.
I thought the bottom was a rectangle.
No, the bases are the two things that are exactly alike. So that's my base.
Oh,
Only the two things that are like, right, there's 3 rectangles, so that can't be a base. Bases, there's only 2 of them. So like a cylinder, the circle's the base, right? Even if it's this direction, okay? So this is a rectangular prism, right? But these squares are the bases no matter which way it's sitting. Because there's only 2 of them. There's 4 rectangles, right? Better?
Yep.
Okay. Yes?
How do you get area?
You have to use a formula. So for the area of this base, it's just length times width, 5 times 5. For the area of this base, it's a triangle, right? So it's 1/2 base times height. This one's a rectangle. This one's a rectangle. So usually it's length times width. If it's a triangle, remember? So if we have a square and we fold it in half, we get a triangle, right? So if you think of it as length times width, triangle is we have to times it by 1/2 to get half of that.
Oh.
All right, let's turn it over. Okay, you did not have to do number 7. Number 8 was just counting up the faces, vertices, and edges. So how many faces did you guys get?
9,
Vertices
14,
and edges.
14.
I got 21. So let's count. So if we count the top, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's the top and bottom, right? That's probably how you got 14. Remember, you have to go to these down. 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. And remember, you can always stick it in the formula. If you're pretty sure about the faces and vertices, you could always go 9 plus 14 equals E plus 2 and solve, and you'll find 21 for that too. Okay? So that's always a great way to double check is use that formula. Okay, number 9. We talked about the lateral area is just the area of one triangle. Okay? And so in this case, we had to find the slant height in order to find it. Okay? And then we did 1/2 times 5 times 6.1. And we found that one lateral surface area is 15.25 feet squared. Okay? And then we need to find the actual surface area. So what's the area of the base of this pyramid right here? 5 times 5 is? What's the perimeter? 20. And we already know the lateral is 6.1. So then we just plug it in. Area of the base plus 1/2 the perimeter, 20, times the slant height, 6.1. And we get 86 feet squared is our answer. Okay. Number 10. I'm going to do this one first because it's easier. This is on the board. It's 1/2 the apothem times the number of sides times the length of the sides. So that's 1/2 5.1 times 5 times 6.3. And that just gives me 80.33 meters squared. This next one is a little more complicated. So the first thing I think about is, okay, I'm making a triangle, and I want to find that central angle, so I do 360 divided by 6. What do I get? I get 60, right? Oh, wait, 60 means this is an equilateral triangle. If it's an equilateral triangle, if this side is 10, so is this side on the bottom. Now remember, I do want to find the apothem, which is this distance right here. Well, then I just make my right triangle. This becomes 5, right? This is still 10. What is this? This is a right triangle. How am I going to figure this out? I'm going to use the what? Pythagorean theorem. X squared plus 5 squared equals 10 squared. So x squared plus 25 equals 100. So x squared equals 75. So x equals, what's the square root of 75? 8.66. So that's my apothem. Okay? So I'm going to go 1/2 the apothem, 8.66. How many sides does this have? What is the length of one of the sides? So I plug that into my calculator, and I should get 259.8 meters squared. Okay, let's look at finding our interior sum and exterior angles. Interior angles is just the number of sides, so 5 minus 2 times 180 divided by 5, I should get 108. The sum of the interior angles should be just 5 minus 2 times 180, which is 540. And then I should get the exterior angles, which is 360 divided by 5, which gives me 72. And then the same thing for our 20-sided polygon. Interior angles is 162. Sum of interior angles is 3,240. And exterior angles equals 18 degrees. Questions? Those formulas are on the board as well, by the way. All right, guys, please put your phones in your backpacks. And your backpacks in the front of the room. You should have everything in it except the formula sheet and your